Welcome to another episode of the 241 podcast. I am Jamin.
I'm Jordany.
And after, I don't know, like a 4 or 5 month hiatus, we are back in the building. Not literally, but we were in the same building earlier.
Not long ago.
Yeah, in August. No, in July. We did a
building for a few days.
We did. We were in an Airbnb. We filmed the hot seat episode of the Metabolism Meant, my other podcast, which you can find on YouTube.
Podcast stuff because I'm not on it as often.
Yeah, well, that's something we'll definitely discuss, a little later. But yeah. So yeah, we're gonna yeah, so that was fun. That was really fun. The whole Maryland trip, and then going into Washington, that was really cool. You guys got to see T.I. apparently.
We did. Walking down the street, I seen T.I. Took to my brother. I'm like, yo, that's Dip. He's like, what? I was like,
yeah. Yeah, that's funny.
I don't know where the heck this man was at.
Me, I was I don't even remember, but I think I was with Josh and EJ.
Yes, you were. Yeah, that's true, actually, yeah.
So yeah, that was really interesting. And then of course we filmed the episode. I think that was only my third time ever seeing you in person, which is interesting.
Yeah,
because I've known you for 4 years, but
going on 5.
Going on 5, but yeah, no, it was really cool. I wish we got a chance to do an actual episode of our podcast in person, but I'm sure there's going to be another time, where we can do that because we were doing a whole bunch of other stuff, but. Aside from all that, how have you been doing?
I've been great, working hard, cutting lots of hair, getting a lot of people sharp. That's what I do.
That's what he does.
That's what I've been doing, yeah.
Great. Excellente. So yeah, man. Hope the audience is doing well because like I said, it has been a while. I'm gonna switch me over here. There we go. And so yeah, today we're going to be talking about some of our NBA predictions for the year. It's not going to go in too heavy because we're still about 2 months out. Before we get into that, though, some basketball news happened. I don't know if you saw it. Torrey Craig is dating Megan Thee Stallion.
Torrey Craig?
Torrey Craig. Now, me personally, if I'm Megan Thee Stallion, I would stay away from anybody named Torrey. But...
That's a good one.
I personally, but nah, so jokes aside, some actual basketball news happened. Lonnie Walker is signed with the Boston Celtics.
I didn't know that. Bro's ring chasing.
Yeah, he's definitely ring chasing. Yeah. But he did sign over there. Lonnie Walker probably means a lot to you because he played on the Lakers for like a year and he had like that amazing game against the Warriors.
That's actually true.
Aren't you like a huge Lonnie Walker fan? Right? You're like
and like 10 seconds ago, the narrative, yeah.
Exactly.
I was about to say Torrey Craig. I love Lonnie Walker. I remember when he cut off all his hair and I was like, oh shoot, and now it's kept kind of moving on my day. But either way, shout out Lonnie Walker. Get his ring.
So yeah, that's what's been happening in the NBA lately. Obviously, there's been I actually want to do an episode talking about all the free agency and trade stuff that happened, but it's just been too late now. Yeah. And I'm sure at times we're going to actually be talking about some of those acquisitions because of the predictions. But for now, we're going to get into the awards. Oops, I opened Discord. Let me exit out. We're going to get into the awards portion of the predictions. We're gonna skip over clutch player of the year because you can't really predict that. And then we're also gonna skip over 6th man of the year because I don't really care. But we will be talking about MVP, defensive player of the year, and rookie of the year. It should be an interesting discussion because this draft, there's not a lot of huge names, but
Yeah.
and part of the appeal, at least for me, is that these are way too early. But it's still kind of fun to discuss some of these things. So actually, I want to start with rookie of the year first.
Okay.
Just get that out the way.
Rookie of the year.
I was on a website, Vegas Insider, and it shows kind of like all the odds for some of these characters, excuse me, for some of these players. You got guys like Reed Shepard, Zach Edey, Stephon
Hmm.
Castle, some of those guys. I personally feel like Zach Edey, playing on a team that has not championship aspirations. I mean, I'm sure they want to win championship, but playing for a team
They've
that'll, no doubt
they've
make the
had talent.
playoffs.
They've had the talent to be a contender
That
in
they
previous
got
years.
talent like all around them right now. So I don't personally think he's gonna win it. Reed Shepard to me is kind of like a similar thing. They do have Alfie come in Houston, and I just don't know if he's going to really pop off like that. But I so who do you think? Because I'm looking at this list right now, and admittedly I don't know some of these people.
Yeah,
Admittedly, I don't know
that's what
some
I'm
of
doing
these
right now. I'm
people.
scrambling right now to find like something. So they got, let's see, Vegas Insider. Let's see. I think they have Reed Shepard at one.
They do.
Um, I like honestly, I don't wouldn't sleep on Zach Edey just because he is in a situation where he can play a really, really big role for the Grizzlies, having because we know how well that team operated when Steven Adams was healthy. So now
Mhm.
you have a guy who can grab boards. He's going to be a pick and roll threat, roam around the basket. He's going to block some shots. I think he can be very solid. But they have Alexander Sarr at one, and he's gonna get the most touches out of honestly probably all these rookies. He's probably gonna run everything related to the offense there. If I had to pick more of a sleeper pick, Jared McCain is plus 5,000 right now, and he's very low. And I understand that Sixers team is very loaded, but he has talent. He honestly does have talent. He showed out in summer league. And if the rest of these guys have growing pains, then he can stand out, I think, especially with the squad that he's got around him. If he can get some minutes. And then
Okay.
I love Rob Dillingham's game. Dillingham. I love his
Dillingham,
game
yeah,
a lot.
yeah.
And being that, Ant isn't really a ball handler per se. Same with Cat. Obviously, Gobert, farthest thing from a ball handler in the NBA. Uh, So if he can get a good amount of minutes, I'd feel like out of because Dillingham may be at like I think 10 here.
Hmm.
So he I think related to the odds, he would be my sleeper pick.
Yeah, and I think one thing also to keep in mind is that remember that year, Malcolm Brogdon won Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, I
When
do.
you look at his stats, obviously they were good, but compared to other Rookie of the Years, like obviously like Wemby, you got other guys who won Rookie of the Year.
Paolo is good.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Did Ant win Rookie of the Year?
I don't think so. I think that was Zion.
No, they were two different drafts because I think Zion was with RJ Barrett in them.
Zion was with Ja.
Let me look up who won. The past few have been Paulo's, Scotty Barnes, LaMelo, Ja. I think Ant was the LaMelo year,
Oh yeah, yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Luca, Ben. So when you look at some of these other guys, Karl Anthony Towns, Malcolm Brogdon, Ben Simmons, Luca, Ja, LaMelo, all of those guys are practically all stars or were. I'm at one point, at one point in time, except Malcolm Brogdon. So I think honestly, we're gonna probably have one of those kind of rookie because of the fact that the talent pool isn't really as deep as it once was. Um, we're not gonna have that one guy that just really has these amazing stats. It's really just going to go down to which of these players plays the best, you know?
Yeah.
So because of that, I personally think my two picks are between Alex Sarr over there in Washington and Zach, that number one pick, who's over there in Atlanta.
Zachary.
Zach. I'm just gonna call him. Wait, is it actually Zachary? Oh, snap.
Yeah.
I've never seen it smelled like I've never seen it spelled like that. French people, man.
I'm
Nah.
telling you.
So I'm gonna go with the number one pick, Zachary Rissish Rishisher?
Rashard.
Rishar. Okay.
Yeah,
Rishar. I
I don't know
yeah.
hablo francais.
Obviously I know Trey Young is on that team, but like nobody else is on that team. And I think he might
Damn.
benefit by playing with a guy like Trey. Because I don't think they're gonna be, competing. They at best are probably like a playing team, you
Yeah,
know.
definitely.
And it's funny if you think about it too, and we'll probably get into this if not in this episode, but like a little later. Every team that was in the plan on the East, in my opinion, kind of just got like a little work,
Worse.
like except the Sixers. Like Miami didn't add anyone. I don't think, right? I don't think they had anyone.
No, really anyone
That yeah, they
significant.
didn't really
And
do
they've had all
anything.
that drama with Jimmy and Pat Riley with his comments.
Yeah, so the Hawks as well. Because even the Hawks were there, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
the Hawks were there. They got worse, in my opinion. And the Bulls definitely got worse. But ironically, except Miami, who I think will probably avoid the plan, I think those two teams will likely make the plan again. Because like the East is just so bad at the moment.
Yeah.
But
Outside of the Celtics, most of their half decent teams are competing.
yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at. It's really hard to judge right now, just because there's not really a standout player. But if I had to place my money, my imaginary money on any of these guys, I do think that Zachary, Rishashar, whatever, Zach is gonna uh most definitely benefit from playing with a guy like Trey, in my opinion.
That's true.
I think he's gonna get his stats because like ain't nobody else really, Pat. Because I got Clint Capella, but who's to say that? And that's another thing too. There's a lot of other guys on the team that are good, but who's to say that they're not gonna just be trading pieces later on, like Clint?
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't think Jalen Johnson's going to get traded anytime soon because that's
No,
a guy that I'm sure that
shout out
they
to
want to
on the
keep.
fantasy team. He was
I got to make sure
he was
that
doing some good numbers. He's putting up some good numbers. What do you have?
I,
Like 20 and 10 basically?
I don't think he did
Alright.
that. Jalen Johnson, he had 16 and 8.
16 and 8, but I
Still
mean,
it's still very good though.
yeah.
Still very good. I don't know. It's kind of hard to judge, but I didn't really want to exclude it, you know, from the discussion. So defensive player of the year, that'll probably be a clean sweep. I think it's going to Wemby. I mean,
Wemby should have
I
won this year.
I genuinely think the only reason why he did not win it is because one, the Timberwolves did have the number one, offense in the league, which is fair. I think if you got a guy who um is kind of leading the the defense of the best defensive team in the league, I'm not mad at you, actually giving it to a guy like that. But Wemby for sure, I think is probably going to end up with it. But I also like, I don't know. I think the Spurs will no doubt be better than what they were last year. But
Yeah,
how many
especially
guys?
if they play more minutes. 'Cause
Yeah, how many guys have won defensive player of the year while not actually being on a playoff team? Because
that's very like people don't ask that question, so I don't know.
Yeah, I like
You gonna ask that question? So
it's just kind of interesting to me because Gobert obviously wanted the Grizzlies in 2023. They were playing, yeah, they were. It was this year where they were bad. Marcus Smart, all these teams, the Warriors, the Spurs, the Bulls were a playoff team in 2014, I believe.
with
The
Noah,
Grizz, uh, yeah, Noah, Marcus Saul, the Grizzlies, Tyson
yeah, I was
Chandler,
thinking
the
Marcus
Knicks.
Gasol, but they made the playoffs that year, 2013.
Yeah, let me look up.
That's such a non-asked question. So who wins MVP without going to the playoffs?
Yeah. So here's what's interesting. No player from a non-playoff team has ever won Defensive Player of the Year since its creation in 1983.
Mm, you cooked with that one.
So I think Wemby might be the first, but that's not really a flex, in my opinion.
I thought he
I,
should have been the first this year. I mean, the Spurs sucked last year.
yeah.
Without Wemby, they would have easily been the worst team in the league,
Yeah.
I think. So it was like for him to even carry them as far as he did, which was a what, like a almost 500 record, I think.
Hmm.
It's like it's good enough. Especially, I mean, my man's put up. I mean, the steal a game with 3.6 blocks, and he's not even just like someone who sits in the paint and just blocks everyone because he's 7'4". He's on the perimeter too. Not to say he's a lockdown defender, but he's versatile. Have you seen him guard guards, guard forwards, guard centers, everything? He's just such a diverse defender. Oh my God, this guy's younger than me. What am I doing with my life? But anyway,
You're doing a
uh,
podcast.
yeah, I'm doing a podcast and cutting hair. But anyway, he's so dynamic, and I've never been a Gobert hater. I think he always plays his role fine, but it should have been Wemby this year, and it shouldn't have been close.
Interesting.
So I just go
Um,
straight off the numbers.
I truly wonder how much him not being on a playoff team will hinder his chances. But to me, I think it's got to go to Wemby. Like, I mean, and look, for anyone who's not aware, I am an OKC fan, right? So of course, I'm gonna always root for my guy Chet, but Wemby is on another level. And Chet's still a great defensive player, don't get me wrong. But you know, Wemby's out of this world. That's why they call him an alien.
Alien.
And I mean, look, I don't care who really wins it as long as it's not Gobert again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So look, I think there are other guys like I think Giannis deserves to be in that discussion again. He won it, I think, in 2018, 2019, I believe.
2020, I believe, when he won MVP.
2020?
He won MVP and Depot in the same year, I believe. I'm looking right now. Yeah, 2019, 2020.
Interesting. Okay.
MVP and Depot.
Got you. Thank you.
Where
Um,
where's he the stats?
so yeah, like I think a
Oh,
guy like Giannis deserves to be in that consideration as well.
oh
But
man, time out. Giannis went crazy in 2019. I'm just looking at these stats again. Lord,
yeah, no,
beautiful,
he
beautiful
was he was
stats.
next level.
Anyway,
Although Kawhi did kind of cook him in the playoffs.
anyway,
You know.
uh, as we were talking about before I got distracted.
So yeah, I would say Wemby will probably be number one because I think he was number two this year, right?
Yeah, he was. He was second.
So and then number three was Giannis, or it was another player.
See, check the standings right now. Depot third was Bam.
Ooh, that's good. Okay. I feel bad for Bam because he's truly a great player and he's extremely versatile. But because of there are guys that are just better than him, he's
Yeah,
not
that's
gonna
literally
get you know, the the love that he,
Yeah, that's what it is. And then you
deserves.
playing in Miami, it's like Miami's a well-known team, but it's just like they're always in limbo.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
always like this feeling of like Miami is like on the brink of either collapse or on the brink of being a better team, one of the
Yeah.
best teams in the league. They just I don't know what it is.
Yeah. So, if I had to put my money on anyone, it's going to Wemby. Giannis would probably be my number two pick if you want to, give it to a guy that's going to be on an actual playoff team. But I have a feeling that Wemby's going to be the first, and that's going to open up to a lot of discussions that will, no doubt, some of which will be annoying, but that's sports media for you.
Yeah.
Now, the most
My number
interesting,
my
I'm
number
sorry.
one would be Wemby. It's okay. My number one would be Wemby. I'm gonna go number two, Bam.
Mm,
I think he's gonna keep it up. He's gonna enter his prime soon. He's 26 right now. He's about to enter his physical prime. And um, did he get hurt a lot last year? He got
I don't
hurt
think so.
a decent amount. He played 71 games.
Yeah, it's good.
It's not bad, but I'm gonna go Bam as my runner up, or at least second best opportunity. He has a lot of
Got you.
talent.
Got you. Okay, that's fair. Um, I love Bam though. He's a great player. Do you think Gobert is going to end up in the top three again?
Maybe top five.
Top five. Okay. I'm curious. When was the last time Gobert was not in the top three?
2015,
Let's see.
2016. He
Hey,
was
that's
seventh
crazy.
in defensive
Yeah,
player of the year voting.
interesting. That was
Ever
almost
since
10
then,
years
he's
ago.
been top three every time.
Yeah, I feel like he'll probably be top three again this year. But I don't want him to win it. I'm tired of Gobert. I'm sorry, respectfully. All right, now we get into something more interesting, I feel. The seating. Now, I'm not gonna go through everything. I feel like the top three is a good way to cut. Although honestly, top five is more interesting. I think I'm gonna do top five in the East
Wow.
versus top five in the West. So we're gonna do it actually like in order from one to five, starting with the East. So I'll start with
Okay.
you. Who do you think will be in the standings?
One seed I think is gonna stay Boston.
Yeah.
Two seed, two seed. I'm gonna go Sixers.
Okay.
Sixers. Three seed, Knicks. Four seed, Bucks. And the fifth seed is tough. In the fifth seed, I really am like in between the Cavaliers and the Magic because I really like what the Magic did last year.
Mm-hmm.
I think they have so much potential. But I think the Cavs are better on paper and they dealt with a lot of injuries this year, especially with Garland and Spida.
Mm-hmm.
So fifth seed, I'm gonna go Cleveland.
Okay. So basically, it's the same as it was last year. Um,
The Sixers got my biggest jump.
but the Sixers, I forgot about Sixers. Yeah.
Sixers have a big jump. I think
This-
they can because Paul George is still so good.
So the Sixers are coming in and replacing the Cavs based no,
Then
Orlando basically.
yeah,
Okay.
and then it's
Yeah,
all
I think the top four is pretty set. In terms of where they rank though, I think we can all agree on Boston being number one. Now the Knicks, the Bucks, and yeah, so the Knicks, the Bucks, and the Sixers will round out my four. But I am curious as to where they will actually land, just because, like, on paper, the Sixers have a great team, but they have Mr. Glass on that team.
yeah.
So I feel like he's definitely going to miss time. even though you still got guys like Maxi and now you got Paul George, who will no doubt help out on the offense and defense, especially
Yeah,
with
he's still
Paul
a good
George.
defender.
You know, I don't think they'll be able like those two alone will win them games against some of the better teams in the East or in the West. So for that, because of that, I'll probably put them not at two. I'll probably put them at about three. Number two, I personally feel like Milwaukee is going to get things together. Yeah, I think they're going to get things right. You got two guys on those teams that are easily Hall of Famers. You got a guy like Doc Rivers, who a lot of people give like a bad rep, and some of which he definitely deserves. But you know, um, he's been doing this for a long time. He's no Steve Nash, where he just like has no idea what he's doing. I think it's more so that he makes questionable choices. But I am really interested to see that team. Because who did they sign? They signed
I'm looking at the
who did they sign recently?
depth chart right now. They
Yeah.
have Delon Wright. He's a
Yes,
solid
that's
player.
I like that.
Gary Trent's a
He's a
solid
little
player.
injury prone.
Yeah.
Um, but
Torian Prince,
yeah,
good rotational piece. They've gotten a little better. They've made moves that they should make, which is signing players to fill roles.
yeah. I like the
I
signing
like that.
of Delon Wright because let's be honest, let's be honest, that's funny. Dame is a great player, horrible defender though. Delon Wright is a good defender. So there might be times where you take Dame out and you put, him in. Because I think that's extremely important at times. Because they no longer have a guy like Drew Holiday, you
Yeah.
know. That's definitely going to improve their defense. So I'm gonna have Milwaukee two, Boston
Gary
one.
Trent's a pretty good shooter too.
Yeah, he is.
39% last year from
Yeah, he's a
three.
good shooter. I think not too long ago he averaged about 16
Yeah.
or 17, which I don't think he's going to do in the Bucks, obviously. But
Oh, man.
um, I'm gonna put the Knicks at three, and I'm gonna put the Sixers at four, just because Paul George also has his issues with injuries, and well known the case with Embiid. So I think health is really gonna come down to it. Obviously Jalen Brunson had his injury towards the end of the playoffs, but I don't by any means consider him an injury prone player. The Knicks have, I think, the only really lost Hartenstein, but they got Mikal Bridges, so you know, kind of evens out. It most definitely evens out. They got McCall,
Yeah, but
Randall. Hopefully
they still have Mitchell Robinson for size because I was thinking like
they do.
when they
However,
lost Hardenstein, I
I
was
am a
like,
little
man, they lost
scared
size.
with I'm sorry, you can go.
No, I was just saying like when they lost Hardenstein, it was like they lost size, and it's like I'm looking at the depth chart now. They only have one 7-footer now, and then Jericho Sims is 6'10", and then this random I don't even know Ariel. What is this? A Disney flick? But bro, 6'11",
Okay.
and then everyone else is like 6'10" and under.
Yeah.
This is a fairly small team, which I understand is like that's the big thing in the NBA, small ball. But it's like you're in the same division as Joel Embiid,
Yeah.
and then if you do make the finals, let's say you gotta maybe face Jokic. So it's like,
Yeah.
I mean,
It's my issue with them losing Hartenstein isn't necessarily the fact that they lost Hartenstein, but it's the fact that they did not really get another big man.
yeah,
And that's the issue. 'Cause let's be real, when you got a guy like Mitchell Robinson, when he plays, cool, great. He doesn't play a lot. He gets injured,
yeah,
and we saw that several times last year. So to me, when you get a guy like Mitchell Robinson as your starting center, you kind of basically need another almost starting caliber guy on on your bench because you got to replace him at some point. And Jericho Sims isn't going to cut it, in my opinion. Like he's a body, sure,
That's about
but
it.
like that's about it. And he's athletic. He can do some that. Isn't he the guy who was in the dunk contest who had like that stupid dunk where he had like the 50? Like he held up 50 or something.
I think that was him.
That was
I
dumb.
don't even know. I didn't pay attention. If he
Yeah.
watched the dunk contest anymore.
So yeah, that was kind of stupid. But aside from that, Jericho Sims isn't gonna cut it because we all know that Mitchell Robinson is gonna get injured again. And so that's where I think, losing Hartenstein is gonna be a huge deal for them. But um as long as they don't play guys with like elite big men, they should be okay. But
Yeah,
they're in it's like you said, they're in the same, league or in the same state in the same conference as Embiid, as Giannis,
I
you
didn't
know.
realize. Yeah, I forgot about Giannis too. I thought they were in a
So
different conference. I thought they were in a different division.
division. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know about that, but I'm just saying like in their conference, they're
yeah, in the
still
conference.
so
Yeah,
so that's my issue. But those are my top four. Oh, and then my five. Great decision. I actually think Indiana's gonna get it.
really?
I think Halliburton's really gonna, like show out. He's gonna have a great year, in my opinion. And now that he's played more with Siakam, and I expect Andrew Nemhard to take another leap, not necessarily to be like an all-star or anything, but to be like truly a really good role player. Because he had some really good minutes in the playoffs last year, for sure.
Yeah, I didn't even realize they signed James Wiseman, who
The
he could be
Pacers?
solid. Yeah, he's on the depth. He's on the he's on the roster right now
I
on
didn't even know that.
ESPN.com. Who, I mean, he hasn't really done anything to show he's a second overall pick
Yeah.
so far, but I've always felt like he's had potential. I always feel like
Things
he could maybe do something.
things can definitely change. I don't think they will though.
He's only 23.
Only 23, but
Time.
he's been in the league for a minute.
Yeah,
So I think he's definitely leaning more towards
bust.
bus territory. But yeah, he was the number two pick. So yeah, those are my top five in the East. Going on to the West, I want to hear your opinion on it.
Let's see the West real quick. All right. Lakers number one seed. That's a joke.
Yes, sir.
Um, let's get serious now. I want to look at these rosters. I like what the Nuggets did with getting Westbrook. I really do. But losing KCP, I think is it hurts.
Yeah,
That hurts more than it sounds,
yeah.
honestly. KCP played a really good role for them. I think OKC is going to be the first seed. Not to please Jamin, but honestly, this team is on paper ridiculous. No visible weaknesses, honestly. It's like they have size, defense, offense, playmaking. It's they're
Aura.
aura, lots of aura. Aura overload. And then it's like the oldest person on the zip chart is 30. That's ridiculous.
That's Alex, right?
Yeah, yeah, Caruso. That's ridiculous. I think OKC is number one seed. I this should I be controversial? I'm not gonna be controversial yet, but I'm gonna say Timberwolves two. They still have a great team, and they have Rob Dillingham. So if he can perform well as a rookie, Mike Conley can be that veteran presence that helps, mold his game. That's always good. Nas Reed, the GOAT.
Nasrid.
Um, they even signed Joe Ingles, so they have more shooting now. I didn't realize they signed Joe Ingles.
Yeah, Bengals is a little
But
washed
that
now.
he's a little washed, but I mean, I see regular season last year, 43% from the three-point line. For how this team is, I definitely take that. So I'm gonna have the Timberwolves at two. This is gonna be controversial. I'm gonna get controversial now. Mavericks third seed.
Whoa.
Mavericks third seed. That's controversial.
That is controversial.
That's very controversial, but I wanna have some hot takes. I wanna go out there
This is
with at
definitely
least
becoming a
something
YouTube
today.
short.
Yep. I know in about 8 months I'm gonna look really stupid, but it's okay. I'm standing on business.
We should actually have an episode where we actually like look back at this episode.
It's probably gonna happen. I'm gonna cringe on myself now, but that's okay. Dallas Mavericks third seed. Klay Thompson is still a good player. Luka's gonna be Luka. Kyrie's gonna be Kyrie. They showed out in the second half of the regular season last year, and I think they can keep that going. Luka had a all right finals. Was it an all right finals? And it was kind of a bad finals, mid finals for his standard, I guess. But with some work in the off season, this team is getting more acquainted. I think they could put on a show. And I think who was above them, the Nuggets, like I said earlier, I really think losing KCP is a bigger blow than most people think. He was a glue guy. He was a very big glue guy. I still love this team. They're still going to be contenders. Everyone in the West in the top five was a contender. They signed Dario Saric? What the heck?
They did, yeah.
That's not bad. But I still think that they're gonna fall off more than people think. Um, and then fifth seed, I don't think the Clippers. Because I'm looking at
Nah,
last
yeah.
year. I'm looking at like last year's stats. The Clippers are gonna fall off. So I'm honestly
I wonder if we have
gonna
the same
say
fifth seed.
I'm gonna say the Suns.
Okay.
I don't really think there's a team below them that's better than them.
I think there will be.
The only team I could think of that maybe could be better than them, maybe the Pelicans. The
No,
Pelicans,
I think there's another team,
there's
but
another team. The Pelicans did get better though.
I think it's a team that all of us kind of forget. But
But I'm gonna say those are my five. I'm gonna
okay.
lock it in there. OKC, Timberwolves, Mavericks, Nuggets, Suns.
Okay. Obviously I have to choose OKC at number one, but for all the reasons you said and more, you know, um, on paper, this team doesn't really have many holes, if any. I think they are extremely balanced. They have, I mean, the size, they're such a weird team, dude. So the point guard, I'm assuming, we're gonna start Shea. Caruso and Dort are going to kind of be interchangeable, I think, depending
Yeah,
on who, because like if we're
Dort's
playing,
taller.
let's say we're playing, let's say we're playing against the Mavericks in the regular season at least. I would start Caruso because I think he does a better job regarding guards. However, if we're playing the Pelicans, if we're playing the Suns, or maybe not the Suns, but if we're playing the Pelicans or if we're playing Orlando, I would much rather have Dort on Ingram or on Paulo. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's more physical.
He's definitely and he's dude, he's built like a truck.
Or
So,
6'4", 220.
yeah, exactly. So, I think on paper they don't really have many holes. And now they have experience. So, you know, and look, everything, all the off court, stuff aside, Josh Giddey, definitely hindered us, I think, a little bit last year. But we replaced him with a guy like AC, who again doesn't really have many holes in his game either, and he's a champion. Then we also have Isaiah Hartenstein now. So I'm assuming our starting lineup is going to be SGA, Caruso or Dort, J Dub, Chet, Isaiah. I'm assuming that's what it is. But
Okay.
because of the fact that we're such a just like a weird team, it can a lot of those guys can be like, oh, well, you start here, then we'll start, here, and then we're actually going to put you on the bench only for this game though, and then we'll bring you back. It's extremely interchangeable. But not only that, We have Aaron Wiggins, who saved basketball, by the way. Aaron Wiggins saved basketball. We got Cason Wallace. Like, our defense is insane. I would not be surprised if we're the number one. Uh,
In the shooting too. I'm looking at the
Shooting is nuts
shooting.
too.
Isaiah Joe,
Isaiah
Aaron
Joe.
Wiggins was a good shooter.
I think maybe one thing I would add is playmaking off the bench. Maybe
Yeah,
that's a hole I think that we need to most
that's
definitely
fair.
fill. But overall, I guess depending on who's on the floor at the time, maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe you can have a playmaker that isn't uh necessarily a center. Excuse me, isn't necessarily a point guard. So that's one thing to definitely look at. But we're a weird team, and I think from top to bottom, we're going to be really tough. But
Yeah.
only time will tell. So anyway, that's my number one. Number two, I'm gonna probably go with Minnesota. They're just really good. I'm not going to get into that much. You said a lot. The Nuggets, though, probably my number three seed. Here's my thing
That's
about
fair.
the Nuggets that I don't know if people really notice. The Nuggets only really have a shot in the playoffs if Jamal Murray plays above what he normally does, which you could say the same for other guys, but Jamal Murray takes like multiple leaps in the playoffs. So when you
Yeah.
have an average Jamal Murray game, I don't think they're a contender. I really don't. And I understand they still have, MPJ, but they also lost Bruce Brown and they lost KCP, and they got Christian Brown, who I personally thought would take a bigger leap with the absence of Bruce Brown last year. He didn't take the leap that I expected, but he's still very young. So I think, obviously to trim him. Then you also have Russ, who, I mean, you know me, I love Russ, but I don't think if you're looking to win a championship, I don't think you can rely on having Russell Westbrook play meaningful minutes. I think he's past that point, even if he's on the bench. Um, so yeah, I'm not too thrilled with the Nuggets, but I mean, I hope things work out because I would love if Russ got a ring, but I personally think they're going to be the three seed. And if Jamal Murray keeps up what he was doing in the Olympics, I'm getting a little scared. You know what I mean?
Oh, he was
So
hooping in the Olympics, right?
no, he wasn't. He
Oh,
was
he wasn't.
no, no, no.
Oh,
He was horrible. Yeah, no, it was disgusting. He was like, yeah. I gotta try to find the stats. He was not playing well at all. Let's see. He never scored more than 9 points.
oh Lord.
He
Oh
scored
Lordy.
in 4 games. He shot a combined 29% from the field. He made all of his free throws though, all four of them. That's
Oh
nice.
yeah, anti-Shaq. Let's go, baby.
Yeah, but like he averaged 6 points, 3 assists, 2 turnovers, 0.5 steals.
Well, that's not good.
Not good at all. So I'm a little concerned with that. Maybe his injuries might be catching up with him, but we'll see. We'll see. So we got that. My fourth spot. Excuse me, my third spot. No, wait.
Not fourth.
My fourth spot. Excuse me. Fourth spot is a little interesting. I no, it's not. It's actually going to be Dallas. My fifth spot is interesting though. The fourth spot is going to be Dallas. I think they definitely got lucky. Not lucky, but they were very fortunate that they didn't run into this version of the Thunder, last year, in my opinion. Experience, I think, really killed them. They also relied so heavily on PJ Washington having like 30 points a game. That's not going to work, you know, in the long run, at least not in the regular, season. They do have Clay now, though, who, although is most definitely, past his
Past his
prime,
prime.
I think he can still be a quality, role player. And, worst, at least on offense. On defense, he's cooked. I don't think he's ever gonna, be
Same.
yeah,
Clay.
but in general, I think he can still be like a role player. And if he's not playing all that well, then just bench him. And they got other guys on the team that uh, can knock down shots. So, there's that. My fifth spot, though, people are forgetting this team. Matter of fact, I want you to try to guess who
Grizzlies.
the Grizzlies.
Yeah,
I
I was
think the
like,
Grizzlies are going to end up with the fifth spot. A lot of people forget about them because of what happened last year, like with Ja and blah blah blah. Before Ja got injured, or excuse me, before Ja got injured and before Ja started pretending to shoot people, um, they were like one of the best teams in the West. Matter of fact, I think they were a number one seed at one point.
yes, they were. They were fine in the West.
Yeah. So do
I
not
think so.
sleep on the Grizzlies. Do not sleep. Do not sleep on the Grizzlies.
Bro, Zach Edey's 300 pounds?
What? He
Look, look at the
is?
chopstick. How? No disrespect. No disrespect.
Zach Edey's 300 pounds?
Like I know he's 7'4",
Oh my.
but
Oh, he is 7'4". Yeah, that
I
does
mean,
add up.
yeah, but like they're Wemby ain't Wemby ain't that heavy.
Yeah, but Wemby's Wemby though. He's
Yeah, but
thin.
like,
He's
dang, man.
only he's only 10 pounds less than Yao Ming. I'm excuse me. He's only 11 pounds less than Yao Ming.
Yeah, but Yao Ming actually looked like
He did.
a little brolic.
Yeah.
Like
But
if I
no,
know Zach Edey was 7'4", I wouldn't be scared of him.
I I I think the Grizzlies are going to pick up
No, that's a good
where they
team.
left off. They don't have a lot of issues. Jaren Jackson's an interesting player though, because there are times where he can't really stay on the floor. But if he just stops fouling people, I think we should be good. I'm not a big Grizzlies fan. I'm not a big Ja Morant fan. I think you know that I just do not like Ja.
Yeah,
Especially after all that stuff he was doing.
I
I
still don't
still
mind him, but that's just me.
I don't like Ja at all, but he is a spectacular player, and I think like I said, he's going to pick up where he left off, assuming that he's healed from his injury.
And
So that's
G.D.
my five
Jackson
right
is
there.
solid,
He's
and
solid.
Vince Williams is not
Can't
bad either.
can't forget about
Desmond
Desmond
Bain
Bain, great
is still
player.
good, still really good.
Um, did the Timberwolves trade Mike Conley?
No, he's still
Or
there.
okay, I thought that was okay. I had a dream or something that they traded him, but
Mm,
okay.
no,
Anyway, so now we got this seating out of the way. This is to end the podcast episode. We have some random stuff, some pretty fun stuff, I would say as well. Who do you think will be the first player to drop 50 points?
first player to drop 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50. Who can drop 50
Wait a minute.
first quickly?
I think we skipped over MVP.
Oh, he did.
We did skip over MVP. Let's go
Yeah,
back to MVP real quick.
Luca.
Um, I personally have Luca. Yeah,
Luca.
I
Well,
I, I know I said that they'd be the four seed. It's between Luca, and Shea, in my opinion. Because I have to go for Shea, but
fair.
I think it'll be between Luca and Shea. But I feel like Luca will finally win it. Although he is it seems like he's still he's gained a little weight,
Yeah, he
which
always
which
does
has
that.
always been an issue with Luca, but at the same time, it's never really affected his play.
Yeah,
But you know what? I'm gonna go Shea. I'm gonna go Shea just because
fair.
I have to. So that's my MVP for all the reasons I explained. He has a great team. He's a great player. That's where we're gonna leave it at that. I'm sorry, I forgot about MVP. But yeah, first 50-point game. Did you say your answer?
I didn't,
Okay.
but I'm gonna go with Embiid.
Embiid. Okay. Do you think it'll happen within the first month?
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't want to pick someone like. I was kind of thinking like maybe KD could just
Mm,
snap one game, but I'm gonna go with Embiid.
okay. I'm gonna
Yeah.
go with I'm gonna go with what's John Morant's career high? I'm kind of curious.
40 something.
52.
52.
Nah, because I'm gonna save Ja Morant for my second thing. So I'm not gonna say Ja. I'm gonna go Luca. I think I know it's kind of generic, but he's a guy that can really explode for 50 whenever he
Oh no,
wants
that's
to.
obvious.
Didn't he have the 70
70.
point
Yes, he did.
triple double too?
I don't think it was a triple double, but he put up 70. But I think he grabbed like 10 boards and got like 6 assists.
It was. It was a triple double.
Oh Lord.
No, I'm sorry. It was a 60 point triple double. And hold on. He had the 60 point triple double in 2022. But Luca had 73. I don't know why I thought he had a 70 point triple double. He had 70 points. He had 70. Where are his points? Oh, there it is. 73 points, 10 rebounds, and 7 assists. So he almost had it. All right, anyway. Um, I'm gonna go Luca. And then you chose who?
Embiid.
Embiid. Okay. So now we're gonna go to another fun one. Player most likely to either dunk or attempt to dunk on Wemby.
So easily, Ja.
I think it's gonna be Joe. It's either gonna be Ja or Ant, but I think it's probably gonna be Ja. I think he's gonna try to, I'm back, man. I got something to prove, and he's gonna try to
Yeah.
attempt. Do you think he's gonna actually do it?
Nah, I don't think so.
I think while Ja has more bounce than Anthony Edwards, in my opinion, I think Anthony Edwards is stronger,
Yeah, he is.
whereas Ja's a little wiry.
Yeah, he is. I think the thing, if you were to catch Wemby, if you were to dunk on Wemby, I feel like it's because like he would be like help defense. Like let's say like someone's coming down the left side, they pass it right or something, and like just on help defense, and then he's a little late to the jump, and then you're right on time and just boom it on him while he's not
Mm.
fully extended. Because I think fully extended nobody's getting over that. But if he's late to slide over, then one of those guys with serious bounce can get him.
You know who I genuinely think in his prime could have dunked on Wemby?
VC,
Him too, but I was thinking another player.
D-Mac.
No, Dwight Howard. In his prime, I feel like Dwight Howard seriously could have dunked on Wemby because not only was he tall, he was strong too, and
Yeah.
and he can jump so
He
high
was
for
Superman.
his height. He was Superman. So like, I feel like Dwight in his prime could have dunked on Wemby, in my opinion. I don't know about you. I mean,
That's fair.
if you could pick any player
All time.
all time in their prime,
I'm
who could have
going
done
VC just because he
Vince
really
Carter?
jumped over a 7 foot dude and cleared him.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I
that alone is like that puts that yeah, he to me he's just got a way higher chance of doing that just because he cleared the guy.
Yeah,
Like literally at whole body, legs open over him.
yeah,
Like that's insane.
yeah. So that's who I'm choosing. I chose Ja. You chose Ja too?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool, cool, cool. We have breakout team. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean it's a team that immediately is a contender, but I think it's a team that, is definitely going to overperform what, people expect. Who do you think would be like a breakout team?
I honestly want to say the Cavs. I like the Cavs roster. Um Now I know I put them what like fourth, which doesn't really sound that impressive considering where they finished last year, which was I think fourth. But
Mm,
I believe that they're going to be able to put up more of a fight in the East. I think they can maybe make a deeper playoff run than they did. It's just that Donovan Mitchell has to stay healthy. If Donovan Mitchell can stay healthy, if Darius Garland can stay healthy, same with Mobley. They had a lot of injuries last year. Mobley got hurt. Yeah, he played 50 games. this team got hurt last year a lot.
Hmm.
So I think that if they can all stay healthy, put it all together, they're still relatively young, this team could be a lot more dangerous than they were last year. Like I can see them winning 55 games. They won 48 last year. I can see them winning 55.
Interesting. Okay. I'm gonna take a different approach, and I'm gonna say the Houston Rockets, just
Yeah,
because I feel like they
yeah,
have to. I feel like they have to, because they've been I think they started their rebuild the
2019.
same time the OKC did. Um, but like they're still so far behind. Um, but I think they have some, like they have Alfie. They have Jalen Green, who I feel like he played well towards I think the end of the year, but um, I don't know if he's going to become the player that he was expected to. But regardless, they have guys on their team, like they really do. They have Brooks, man. They have Tate. They got Adams
My
and
boy
like Steven
Samuels,
Adams.
baby
Yeah,
Jokic,
yeah. So they got guys on their team. They got let me check out the Houston Rockets. They got Jeff Green on their team.
Van Vliet is still there.
Phillies on the. I forgot about that.
Yeah, bro got paid.
No, they got guys on that team. I think I'm gonna choose them because I feel like they have to
That's
make a
fair.
leap. They basically have to. Um, Let me check the roster real quick. And obviously they drafted Reed, um, Cam Whitmore, Amen Thompson, Jabari Smith. They have to make a leap, or else
Yeah.
this might be the last year that that team is like still currently assembled.
If there were a team, I would. If there was a team that was lower seeded, and I'd have to pick, it'd be the Kings.
Okay.
I like the Kings. I've always liked the Kings. And I completely forgot they got DeMar DeRozan.
Oh yeah.
I completely forgot about that. The most forgettable. Well, it's not even forgettable. It's just like,
I'm glad D Rose came
okay,
home. I didn't deserve him neither.
yeah, yeah. Better not
But
speak on Serena.
yeah.
But this team is solid. Keegan Murray is solid. Malik Monk, I think, was third in six man of the year, second in six man of the year. Herter is solid. DeRozan, Fox, and Sabonis. And it's like DeRozan doesn't even have to take all the shots from Fox and Sabonis. Sabonis didn't even need to take shots like that.
Hmm.
So it's like, and I've always liked De'Aaron Fox. He's always been a very good player. So I think that they can jump from, or were they? They weren't even in the play-in.
No, they were.
They were in the play-in. Okay, they were in the
They
play-in.
were 9
So
seed.
they jumped ninth seed. They could maybe be fifth. I know I picked the Suns for fifth, but if the Suns take a step back, I think the Kings can be a top seed
That's kind of the
in the West.
that's kind of the weird thing about the West is that they can end up anywhere. All those guys can end up
True.
anywhere. I think the top three seeds are kind of a lock, but everything under that from four to like eight or nine, it can end up anywhere. Although I do
Yeah.
think, I mean, no offense, but I do think the Lakers will probably end up being a playing team again. But other than that, like, so that's what I have. Now we have disappointing team. So really I'm going off of a team that maybe played well last year, but aren't going to be able to keep it up. I have a team in mind. It kind of counts, but I'm curious to see what you're gonna say.
Clippers.
That was my team.
Clippers.
Yeah,
It's they lost PG. And they
yeah.
are, I mean, yeah, they won 50 games. Was it 50 games? They won, yeah, 51
51.
games. But I mean, PG's a big loss. Kawhi is always a question mark. So what you have left after that is Harden.
Who's not an all-star
And
anymore.
yeah, you got Harden
Kawhi.
and if Kawhi is out,
It's just
who
Harden.
else you got?
You got Norm Powell. He's always
Yeah,
solid.
he's good. He's good. He's good, but I mean, he's not an ultimate game changer.
Yeah, he's not.
So at the end of the day, if Kawhi keeps on being what Kawhi has been for years, even though he did play 68 games last year. So
Hmm.
that's a good amount. But if we think about what he's been consistently, which is injury prone, then this team is going to take a step back, big time.
Hmm. I agree.
That's it.
Um, I have the Clippers as well for basically every reason that you said. They're not going to be able to keep up that same level of production. I think they will be a team where it's just like, wow, they actually beat that team. Whoa, you know what I mean? Like they can. I think they can beat almost any team on like any given night if Kawhi really, really pops off. But like, ultimately, I think they're just going to be really disappointing. Horrible way to break in their new stadium. You
Yeah,
know,
I
um,
forgot they had a new stadium.
horrible way to like but I'm not too sold on the Clippers. I don't think anyone is, and I wouldn't be surprised if they made some trades to potentially get rid of something. But it's not like they have. I don't think they have really any picks, so they're cooked. They're cooked, but they tried. They tried their best. So,
They got close,
and then my last thing here
realistically.
is breakout player. So a player
Breakout player
that
is tough.
you
I've
know
been thinking about that. My man's Jamin sent me a note with what we're gonna talk about, and I've been thinking about breakout players since he sent me it. Cause this is interesting. I'm like going through all depth charts right now. So I don't know if you have a player
I
in
do.
mind already, so you can go ahead because I'm looking through depth charts.
I
Charts.
again, off court stuff aside, I think Josh Giddey's gonna have a great year in Chicago.
Mm.
I know because of the
Interesting.
off court stuff and even some of the on court stuff that happened,
Wap 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 wap.
I think he's gonna really play well. I think he's gonna average like a lot of people forget he was really hooping his first 2 years in OKC. And he dropped 30 points in the play-in. Um, who we got? We got he averaged so his second year he averaged 16, 7, and 6. Um, he's only 21. He's still my age. We're the same age. And I think he has room for like a lot of improvement. He's not a bad player, guys. He really is not a bad player. I think he can. So he averaged 12, 6, and 4 this year. I would not be surprised if he averaged like 18 or 19. I think he's going to average 18, 8, and 8.
Mm.
I think he's going to average 18, 8, and 8, maybe 18, 8, and like 7. The efficiency might be a little weird because he's not a great shooter, but he can get to the basket. He might not always finish, but and he has that little floater of his.
Mm-hmm.
He can't shoot threes all that well, but I think he might improve over time. And dude, because there was that one stretch where SGA was out and he was hooping. So I think now, he might really start to get everything together. And I hope he does. Because, again, off course stuff aside, I like Giddy. I think he's a good player. And I would like to see him, play in a good environment. Maybe Chicago won't always be that, but I think he's gonna have a really good year. What about you?
Give me my boy IQ.
Manuel quickly, really.
IQ. I'm looking at the stats now, and especially during like after the trade, he was playing very well. Very, very solid numbers from him. The Raptors aren't really going anywhere. I don't know what the Raptors are really doing because they have good players, but it's like just not really all coming together. So I think that, and I'm looking at the guard situation on this team, and it's like his only competition is RJ Barrett, really. Davion Mitchell. It's like, yeah, he has like no other comps. So he's gonna be the starter. He has a good game, and he showed lots of flashes on the Knicks of really good play. So I think if everything can go well for IQ, he averaged 17, 4, and 5 last season. I think he could put up like 23, 5, and 6. I think he
Interesting.
can play. I think he'd be a really good player. Not all-star level, but like getting to that all-star level, I think he can make that leap.
Okay. Interesting. Interesting.
Yeah.
Um, Speaking of all-star level, there was one small thing I wanted to add. Who do you think will be a first-time all-star this year? Let's not say Wemby. That's too obvious of a choice. But who do you think will be a first-time all-star this year? It could be anybody
First
on the
time
East or the
all-star this
West.
year. There goes the
Yeah.
bed rising. Uh, let's see. Who hasn't been an all-star? It's a good player. That isn't Wemby.
Because I personally think
Has Mikal Bridges been an all-star?
Mikal Bridges, no, he hasn't. But I mean, I don't think it'll happen.
You don't think so? That team is too stacked.
It's too stacked, and I don't think he's gonna. Um, I think it's gonna be somebody on OKC.
I was like, I'm picking
I think
OKC.
I
Like,
wouldn't be surprised if like maybe if especially if they get like a high seed, it can either be Chet or J Dub.
mhm.
It really depends, and it might be an injury replacement just because of how stacked the West is. But I could definitely see either J Dub or Chet, making it. Maybe J Dub over Chet, just because where Chet might go will probably end up going to Wemby. But other than that, I think it might be J Dub. Yeah. Um, Alfie, I think Alfie has a chance. Shengun,
I was about to say,
Shengun,
was
yeah.
Sengun was a all-star last year?
No, it was not. I
Because if
think he
not, my
might be
pick is
though.
Sengun.
I'll say Shengun, yeah. Um, yeah.
Maybe Jokic. Anyone who plays like Jokic, I love them.
I thought I said maybe Jokic. I'm saying
Maybe
pretty sure
Jokic.
Jokic is made in an All-Star game.
Jokic
No,
honestly has like my one of my favorite play styles just because it's like so if he play like Jokic, I'm a fan
yeah,
immediately.
it's fair. That's fair. So
You know
that's
who
all.
got drafted by OKC? Bro,
Who?
OKC's drafted everyone. Şengün.
Oh, Alfie.
What
Yeah,
the heck?
yeah, we got Alfie.
And I was
Yeah.
just looking at quickly, he got drafted by OKC too. What the heck,
I
bro?
didn't know about quickly, but I
They're
didn't
like
know
the
about
stinking
Alfie.
army, bro. What is this? Drafting everybody.
I
What is
think
this?
I
Vietnam?
yeah.
Jeez.
I mean, ultimately things got worked out by not, actually keeping Alfie, but it would have been cool if we did. But yeah, man. That's what I'm rocking with so far. I want to
Mark
know
my
in the
words on Dallas.
all right, mark his words on Dallas. I don't remember what he said about Dallas, but mark his words.
Third seed.
Third seed. That's what he
Third
said.
seed.
Let
It's
us know
gonna
in the
end up just like my
comments.
finals prediction. You
Let
know, you
us
know.
let us know in the comments if you guys even watch this, what you think about our predictions, and then I also like to know your guys' predictions. You know, Danny, do you have any words of wisdom before we log off?
Words of wisdom. Keep hooping, keep shooting in life. Keep shooting. All right.
It was really unfortunate the first thing you said. You say keep pooping, but it sounded like you say keep pooping.
Oh no 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 no.
I
I
was like,
mean,
what is this? I mean, I don't think I
if you take
stopped.
laxatives, you have no choice. But
Yeah, man.
keep hooping, keep shooting in life.
Yeah, keep
Never
pooping.
stop shooting.
Also keep pooping as well.
Mm-hmm.
You should never want to stop doing that.
Facts.
Um, yeah, so that's all he has. I hope you guys have a good day and see you guys in the next episode.